One of the most difficult tasks is to improve something that's already very good, says our reviewer Reinhold Deisenhofer. There'll be a lot of complaints if it doesn't work, but if it does work, it'll make everyone really happy. The Mercedes-Benz B-Class has sold well since the last version came out in 2005. The first generation sold 700,000 cars, and the second added another 380,000. That means over 1 million satisfied customers around the world. Let's see what the latest version can do. After Mercedes made the A-Class sportier and less of an MPV, the B-Class now has to broaden its appeal. It's therefore been refreshed and looks somewhat more athletic. Most of the design changes are at the front end. The front end has a new bumper, explains Mercedes' Dirk Streichert. The headlights have been subtly changed, and the nose has a slightly different look. There are simple alterations, but together they give a far different overall impression. The new headlights now have integrated daytime running lights, both in the standard lamps and also in the optional full LED headlights.
In den Scheinwerfer integriert, in den Standardscheinwerfer und auch in den optional erhältlichen Voll-LED-Scheinwerfer.
The B-Class has an appealing new exterior, but the really interesting changes are inside. Our test car had 155 kilowatts of power. The engines in the new B-Class have been optimized for low fuel consumption. The top engine consumes a maximum of 6.6 liters of premium fuel per 100 kilometers with 4MATIC all-wheel drive. But that option isn't just reserved for the top-of-the-line model. The compact car's development chief says there are now 4 engines with all-wheel drive, the 2 most powerful gasoline units and 2 diesels. He says this is the broadest all-wheel range in its segment. Environmentally friendly models round out the B-Class range. The electrically powered model can be charged within 3.5 hours from a standard power outlet. Until now, the U.S. has been the main market for the electric B-Class. Now Mercedes hopes to find new buyers in Germany. Electric Vehicle Development Chief Jürgen Schenk says the firm is pursuing a 3-pronged strategy. One involves improved conventional internal combustion engines, both diesel and gasoline. Then there are plug-in hybrids for the middle segment and electric vehicles for completely emission-free driving. Mercedes already offers this with the B-Class electric drive, which it hopes to build upon in the future. Visually, the electric version stands out with optimal blue trim and decals on the side. In the U.S., the electric B-Class has already found some celebrity buyers. Ryan Tedder, lead singer of One Republic, is an electric convert.
Electric cars, to me, it is the future. I think that eventually everything is going to be electric. I just think it's inevitable. You know, all you have to do is drive through a tunnel with the windows down and breathe that stuff in, and you realize that we need to shift everything to electric. It's just because you can finally experience how bad all the exhaust is and what it's actually doing to the environment.
When driving the electric version, the loudest thing you hear is tire noise. During development, Mercedes set itself the goal of meeting customer demand for an everyday car with a long range. The B-Class electric drive runs 200 kilometers in the European driving cycle, but the car also boasts a range extended button. On individual days, you can recharge the battery to more than normal. Then the B-Class has a range of 230 kilometers. With the onboard 11 kilowatt charger, a full charge typically takes around 3.5 hours. A 100 kilometer charge takes approximately 1 hour. Inside, there is the typical Mercedes design and top-class workmanship. A flatter steering wheel and round instruments provide a sporty touch. Flexibility is a major selling point of the B-Class. The rear seats can be moved and, of course, folded down. The B-Class can stow between 501 and 1,456 liters of cargo. Reinhold says modern vehicles primarily differ in 3 ways in terms of design, engines, and assist systems. The new B-Class has Collision Prevention Assist Plus as standard. That means if the driver is distracted or daydreaming and an obstacle appears, the car brakes to a stop by itself, thereby preventing a collision. Let's take a look at how it works.
bis in den Stand und verhindert dadurch den Auffahrunfall. Und das probieren wir jetzt aus.
The white B-Class is on a collision course. The speed is 45 kilometers per hour, typical for city traffic. Reinhold steps on the gas. The B-Class responds.
Hat funktioniert.
It worked wonderfully.
Ziel erreicht.
For Mercedes, it's mission accomplished. The new B-Class has sharper lines, the engines are more efficient, and the B-Class is safer too. The previous collision avoidance system led to a 14% reduction in severe rear-end collisions, and the new system is twice as safe. The 130-kilowatt electric B-Class has a 200-kilometer range.
Ansonsten an der Haushaltssteckdose über Nacht.
The B-Class's broad product range will likely mean sound sales figures. There's something for nearly everyone. Both our tested top gasoline model and the emission-free electric variant cost just under 40,000 euros in Germany. The Mini four-door went on sale in Germany in October 2014. The new member of the Mini family is also the biggest. It really isn't very mini at all, but that hasn't been much of an issue since the second generation. No matter how big, the four-door model is unmistakably a Mini. Mini's Andreas Lamke says it's based on the recently introduced Mini two-door, but with a longer wheelbase, and thus it has a bit more interior space and increased luggage capacity, and it stays true to the Marquis go-kart feeling. The new four-door looks amazingly similar to the original two-door, and that includes the round headlights and the contrasting roof. It's 4 meters long, and the wheelbase has been stretched 7 centimeters to 2.57 meters. The trunk has plenty of space. It's 278 liters, or 67 more than its two-door sibling has, and that can be expanded to 941 liters. Inside, everything is familiar. The large round instruments and the round display in the center console are no surprise. You can select different driving modes. The Mini's front seats make you feel instantly at ease, but just because there are 3 head restraints in the rear doesn't mean there's room for that many passengers. The Mini just isn't a full-fledged 5-seater, but a 4.5-seater, and then only if the 2 people sitting on the outside share their footwell with the middle passenger. The two-door model's engines, along with everything else that makes it desirable, can also be ordered with 4 doors. In Germany, those 2 extra doors cost 900 euros more. The 4-door Mini Cooper S we tested packs 141 kilowatts of power, accelerating from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 6.8 seconds. It has a top speed of 230 kilometers per hour. Andrea says the Mini brand benefits tremendously from being part of the BMW group, not least because of its development expertise. The 3- and 4-cylinder turbo engines are developed with BMW along with the drivetrain. The driver assistance systems are also unique in the segment. But who really needs the Mini 4-door? The answer is no one, at least if price performance is your benchmark. The Cooper S 4-door starts at 24,700 euros in Germany. On the other hand, there are people who've had their eye on a Mini but shied away due to its lack of rear doors and its tiny trunk. With the 4-door, they no longer have an excuse. Audi has facelifted its compact SUV Q3, recognizable mainly by the newly trimmed single-frame grille. The range of engines includes 3 TFSIs and 3 TDIs. The new Q3 is also available in a fuel-efficient model called the Ultra, with consumption rated at 5.5 liters per 100 kilometers. Volkswagen has also given the Polo GTI more than just a facelift, along with a new suspension and, for the first time, electromechanical power steering. The real change is the engine. The 1.4-liter has made way for a 1.8, which can deliver 141 kilowatts and 320 newton-meters of torque. Prices in Germany start at 22,275 euros. The Romaniacs is one of the most popular and grueling off-road races on the planet. The Endurance Rallye in the Carpathian Mountains is famed for its marriage of spectacular trails, stunning landscapes, and ultra-tricky challenges.
It's definitely one of the toughest events of the year. I mean, multiple days as well, it can wear you down.
Hills, waterfalls going up and down, slippy rock sections, tree roots. It's one of the best places in the world to ride. It's super cool.
It's a hard enduro, but it's like a long race. You know, you do like 7-hour days for 4 days, so it's physically tough, and you know, like it's tough on the mind as well. This year, obviously, I've come here to win. You know, it's definitely going to be a tough year, but you know, hopefully, if all goes well, I'll come out on top.
After winning 4 events, I still want to win, get that number 5 as much as ever. So I'm here to win.
There's no lack of competition here then. The first stage is a prologue, an obstacle course around the ancient city of Sibiu, to decide the starting order before the actual race begins in earnest. There are 350 competitors from 35 countries, split into 4 classes. The prologue is about separating the wheat from the chaff. But even the seasoned professionals can get unstuck, or in some cases, stuck. And for the second time in succession, Paul Bolton ends up winning the prologue.
I rode really strong and did a good job of it all. Bike was really handling well. You know, I know how to ride prologues, and waiting for the seesaws. It looks like there was a lot of action around the seesaws. Graham fell off there, and yeah, but happy with my race. You know, first in the mountains tomorrow. Been there last year, made some early mistakes, which I'm not going to intend on doing this year. So yeah, happy days, keep going. See you at the finish tomorrow.
And then Graham Jarvis and Johnny Walker finish in 2nd and 3rd respectively. Now the real race begins, pitting man and machine against nature. 600 kilometers of treacherous terrain await the riders, and it soon becomes apparent who the real masters of their machines are. In no time at all, Graham Jarvis and Johnny Walker managed to put some serious distance between themselves and the rest of the field. In addition to the hills and trees, there are rocks to navigate too, and troubled waters. Johnny Walker ends up drowning his bike's engine, and there are no mechanics nearby. But the Englishman just ends up his bike and changes the spark plugs himself. After drying the cylinders too, he's ready to roar. And soon he's back on the trail of Graham. A thrilling cat-and-mouse race ensues between the two, right until shortly before the finish. Walker shifts the excitement up yet another notch as his bike struggles on the final ascent. But thanks to some helping hands from spectators, he battles his way to the finish line ahead of Graham to seal the overall win.
Yeah, obviously it's an amazing achievement being the youngest person to win Romaniacs, and because it's such a gnarly race, you know, it's 4 days of like just brutal, you know, stuff, so just to get here first is amazing.
Graham Jarvis, the reigning king of the Carpathians, has to relinquish his crown and settle for 2nd.
Yeah, it's a bit of a disappointment to come 2nd, but there's no shame in coming 2nd to Johnny now because he's so fast, and yeah, he's improved so much from last year. So yeah, he's up the pace, and yeah, I'm going to have to go away and do something different.
18 years young Wade Young from South Africa clinched third spot against the odds.
I never ever thought that I'd be on the podium here or even in contention for the podium. I surprised myself and I think I've surprised my family back home as well, and unbelievable for me, indescribable.
The 2014 Romaniacs will go down in the history books as one of the most thrilling races ever, and with 23-year-old Johnny Walker becoming the youngest ever champ. And there are bound to be more fireworks from him in the future, too. In 1964, the Ford Mustang charged across American television screens.
Mustang is coming. Mustang is coming April 17th. The unexpected, the new Ford Mustang at your Ford dealers.
Ford unveiled the Mustang in Flushing Meadows, New York. It was an instant sensation. The first car designed and priced especially for younger drivers. Listed at just under $2,400, it launched a new genre, the pony car, despite being named after a horse. It also touched off Mustang mania in the United States, with 4 million people taking Ford showrooms by storm. Dealers had to lock their doors to keep the crowds under control. A staggering 22,000 orders came in the very first day, a world record. Ford could barely keep up. The first Mustangs proved particularly appealing to women.
I was excited I had bought a new car, but when everybody was staring at me in the car, it was like, wow, what did I buy? I was really impressed because like even the police cars would flag me over like this to just slow down so they could look at the car.
Gail Weiss snapped up the very first Mustang sold, 2 days before the official launch.
I was 22 years old. It was Wednesday, April 15th, and I had just graduated from college and got my first teaching job, but I needed transportation to get there because I lived in Chicago at home. When we walked in the door, I told the salesman I wanted a convertible. He said, I have no convertibles on the floor, but come in the back room with me. I have something special to show you. And in the back room, under the tarp, was this baby blue convertible. I said, oh yes, I really wanted that one. So I bought it on the spot. But when I drove it out on the street, everybody was waving at me and flagging me to slow down and give me high fives, and I felt like a movie star, and it was a really good feeling. And that's how it was for quite a while. I was very popular. It wasn't me, it was the car.
By Ford Vice President Lee Iacocca's reasoning, the GIs had come home to their girls and wives in 1945. By 1963, their children, the baby boomers, would have just gotten their driver's license, and they'd be in the market for a snappy but low-priced sports car. The Mustang I was developed by the Fairlane group of Ford executives as a two-door sports car-like coupe. It remained a concept. By late 1964, the Mustang was available in 3 body styles: a convertible, a hardtop, and a sleek fastback, a dream car affordable for every American. They were all based on the platform of the Ford Falcon, a 2-door compact model. The third-year 1966 model featured more chrome and the pony and tri-bars logo. The Mustang name was already a registered trademark in Germany, so the car was launched here as the T5. Buyers of the original pony car could choose between 1 V6 and 3 V8 engines, putting out up to 190 horsepower. The first redesign came in 1967 with the all-new Mustang. It was bigger inside and out, with an optional 6.4-liter big block engine. '67 was also the year of the first Shelby GT500, the powerful king of the road. The appeal of the Stag, as its fans called it, stepped up yet another gear. In the summer of 1973, the second generation hit the showroom floors. The fans missed their cherished pony car design, but Ford still shifted over 1 million of the Mustang II within 5 years. Over the next few years, the Mustang's magic seemed to fade. The third generation looked pretty much like any other sports coupe. For its 30th birthday, Ford rolled out the Mustang IV. At least the pony was back running across the grille. After a series of design blunders, in 2005 the fifth generation made a comeback with a look worthy of the Mustang name. For the car's 50th birthday, Ford dismantled a 2014 Mustang to then reassemble it against a very prominent backdrop. The Jubilee model of the legendary sports car was now to hit the dizzy heights of the Empire State Building. The birthday extravaganza sought to revive the cult, a cult that had begun half a century before with the very first Mustang. A similar media event was organized to mark the climax of the Mustang year 1964. And in 2014, once again, a Mustang stood at the top of New York's greatest landmark.